She replaced her cousin at the wedding photography booth, unaware the single dad CEO, Groom's brother, falls for her. Mia had always been the quiet, dependable type. Living in a bustling city and juggling 2 part-time jobs, she rarely allowed herself the luxury of spontaneity. But that Thursday afternoon, she found herself in a situation she could never have anticipated. Her cousin, Lily, who was supposed to handle the photography at her friend's wedding, had called in sick at the last minute. "Mia, I'm begging you, just cover for me this once. The couple can't postpone, and I don't want to lose the client." Lily's voice trembled with panic over the phone. Mia hesitated. Weddings were not her scene. Cameras, crowds, and endless smiles weren't exactly her forte. But seeing the desperation in Lily's voice, she reluctantly agreed. "Okay. I'll do it. But only because it's you," Mia said, slipping on her camera bag and heading toward the grand venue. The wedding hall was magnificent. Crystal chandeliers, velvet drapes, and flowers that smelled like spring itself. Mia felt out of place in her modest outfit, blending into the background while the guests in shimmering gowns and sharp suits mingled. She tried to steady her nerves, adjusting the camera strap around her neck. As she started taking candid shots near the reception area, she noticed a tall man standing alone by the drinks table. He had an aura of quiet authority, a kind of magnetic presence that made people notice him without trying. His hair was neatly combed back, and the tailored suit fit him like it was made for him. He wasn't staring at her, or anyone else, exactly. It was like he was observing the world through a quiet lens, and when their eyes met, she felt a jolt of recognition, though she didn't know why. He smiled slightly, and Mia instinctively smiled back, feeling a flutter she hadn't felt in years. It wasn't until later, when the ceremony was in full swing, that she discovered who he was. As she adjusted the lighting for the bride and groom's portrait, someone whispered her name. "Mia, meet Ethan," the wedding planner introduced, gesturing toward the man. "He's the groom's brother, and a CEO. Ethan, this is the photographer filling in for my cousin." Ethan's eyes lingered on her for a beat longer than necessary. "Nice to meet you," he said, his voice calm but unexpectedly warm. Mia felt her stomach twist. It wasn't just his looks, it was the way he seemed genuinely interested in her, not just polite. As the evening went on, Mia found herself darting between shots, capturing laughter, toasts, and the gentle glow of candlelight. But every time she glanced at Ethan, he was either watching her, smiling slightly, or adjusting his cufflinks with a distracted hand as if unsure why he couldn't look away from her. After the dinner, Ethan approached her while she was editing photos in the makeshift studio corner. "You're really good at this," he said softly. "I mean, you have a way of seeing moments that others miss." Mia blinked. Compliments weren't something she was used to, especially from someone like him, a man clearly from a world far above hers. "Thanks. I try to notice the little things," she murmured, fumbling with the camera settings. Ethan crouched slightly to meet her gaze. "The little things matter. Sometimes they're the most important." For a moment, the noise of the reception, the laughter, music, and clinking glasses, faded into the background. Mia felt a strange connection forming, as if they had known each other for far longer than an evening at a wedding. Hours passed in a blur of laughter, pictures, and dancing. Ethan, despite his wealth and status, remained surprisingly down to earth. He offered Mia a glass of champagne, not in a condescending way, but as if inviting her into his world for just a moment. By the time the wedding cake was cut, they found themselves standing side by side, watching the newlyweds share a quiet, perfect moment. Ethan glanced at her. "I know this is sudden, but, would you like to grab a coffee sometime? Away from all this chaos?" Mia's heart skipped. Coffee? With Ethan? Her mind raced, full of doubt and questions. Could someone like him really be interested in someone like her? And yet, the warmth in his eyes felt real, sincere, and utterly unpretentious. Yes, she said, her voice catching slightly. "I'd like that." They exchanged numbers, and the rest of the night passed in a surreal haze. As Mia packed up her equipment, she realized she hadn't even taken a single photo of herself. But she didn't care. Something had shifted inside her, a spark she hadn't felt in years, ignited by chance, by stepping out of her comfort zone, by showing up when her cousin needed her. The next morning, Mia couldn't stop replaying the night in her mind. The way Ethan smiled, the way he looked at her with genuine interest, the way the world had briefly felt like a smaller, warmer place. She felt nervous and exhilarated all at once. Days turned into weeks. Coffee dates became lunches, and lunches became evening walks. Ethan didn't treat her like a novelty or a temporary distraction. He listened to her dreams, shared stories of his own struggles balancing work and fatherhood, and laughed at the same silly things she found amusing. One afternoon, as they sat in a quiet cafe, Ethan reached across the table and held her hand. "Mia, I know we met under unusual circumstances, but I feel like I've known you longer than just a few weeks." Mia squeezed his hand back, smiling shyly. "I feel the same. It's crazy how life works sometimes. One small decision, one moment, can change everything." Ethan's eyes softened. "Exactly. And I'm grateful you said yes that night, even though you had no idea who you'd be meeting." Mia laughed lightly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Well, I never thought I'd replace my cousin at a wedding and end up here. Life is full of surprises." Ethan leaned closer, his voice gentle. "The best ones usually are." Mia realized then that sometimes, stepping into the unknown, into a room full of strangers, into a role she didn't feel ready for, could lead to something extraordinary. A chance encounter, a small act of courage, a simple yes, it had all brought her to him, and for the first time in a long while, Mia didn't feel like life was just passing her by. She felt alive, seen, and deeply connected to the man who had, in a few short weeks, changed her world forever. She smiled, knowing that life's surprises often came in the most unexpected packages, and that sometimes, love began not with planning, but with stepping up when someone else needed you most.